VoiceoverGuy VR. Good evening, weary travellers, and welcome to the metaverse. I am VoiceoverGuy, and this is the ever-delightful Maeve. Look at those cute little freckles. Folks, I recently got approached by Sir SpiderGod, who said to me, I have an idea for content for you. He said, I would like you to go out and interview a few people from Cards and Tankards and find out what they enjoy most about the game and what they feel could use a bit of improvement. So that is today's task, and with the help of the ever-delightful Maeve, I think we can get this task done very easily. So before we begin, let us get ourselves a tankard, because we'll need it for the heavy journey ahead. Cheers, my dear, cheers. Don't roll your eyes at me, that's terrible. Good evening, young Miss Mama Bear, and what would you suggest is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Well, I do like the people that play it. I have a lot of good friends on here, and just the fun of winning or losing battles is fun. Yes.
Indeed, I have noticed you often have a cadre of people following around at any given time. I find it quite entertaining myself. Now, what would you suggest is maybe your least favourite thing? Well, not least favourite, but what would you suggest could use a bit more improvement about Cards and Tankards?
Some of the new cards. There is one called the Poison Darts that when you play it, it poisons everything that, even on your side, that you did not, the creature that you did not play. And I was not ready for that.
Yes, it's quite savage indeed. I find that there's some ways to defeat things and sometimes not, and that one is quite serious at the best of times.
Yes, yes, it is. There are a couple other cards, but I cannot remember their names.
Yes, I think that sums up Cards and Tankards for me mostly. Thank you kindly, my dear.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
It's YOLO. What would you suggest is the best thing about Cards and Tankards?
Honestly, the community in the game is just so opening, so welcome to new players, really helpful to everyone, and that's why I just love playing this game. Just everyone is so friendly and everything, and it's just a really good game.
I absolutely agree 100%, sir. And what would you suggest might need some improvement?
Well, the only things that I can really say need improvement would be the visual bugs. Like, say, for instance, whenever you put in a deck box and it just will not go away until the other person grabs their deck box again, which is not really a common practice in Cards and Tankards, so you do have to ask for that. Then there's also the random bug of I'm constantly pointing. I have to grab a deck box to fix that. And
yes.
Like, I'm aware that those bugs are being worked on, but they could be fixed.
Most certainly. I find that's a common one myself, the old pointy finger. I go to say hello and shake someone's hand and I'm pointing at them like a complete fool. Tremendous. Thank you, good sir.
Okay. No problem.
Wonderful. Sir Infinite Soul, what do you find is the best thing about Cards and Tankards?
The community. I love the community and making friends, It suits me the best.
I find it is very popular for the community, and I love hearing it every time. What would you suggest is maybe something that needs a little bit more improvement about Cards and Tankards?
Probably, I'd say, oh geez, the draft battle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What do you think needs improving about the draft battles?
Maybe, you could face the AI and probably test your draft deck.
That is an insanely brilliant idea. Why has nobody thought of this before? Thank you kindly, Infinite Soul.
you for bringing me on here.
Most welcome. Good evening, Sir Tech. What would you suggest is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
It's got to be the community, hands down, because it's an amazing community, and they're just very fun to be around. Me and other Royal team members try to help out newer players as well. So we try to boost up the community.
I have witnessed this many a time. The Royalty Guild seems to be the first guild that's come into Cards and Tankards, and they're doing wonderful things for them. I do very much appreciate them. What would you suggest that would be maybe one thing that needs a little improvement in Cards and Tankards?
So when I started out, I had a bit of problems just like figuring out what cards do.
Ah, yes.
So if there could be like a simpler way for that to happen, I would hands down be all for it.
You know, I think there is one. One moment, let me just double check. I wonder... yes, so I think I'm going to back up to the camera here. Let's see. There's a little information button up there, which brings up this...
Yeah, the table.
Yes, and then there's deck building and standard mode deck and all these wonderful... Yes, I think they've actually got animated stuff now. It's quite impressive. So you have seen these, yes? Yes.
I've seen some of it once.
Very well. What would you suggest? Hang on, I need to pick up my microphone again. What would you suggest might be a better format than that that might improve things?
Well, seeing how it's like an info button, most people are going to skip over that and they're going to forget about it. So instead of it being a little info button on the top right corner, if it could be one of the actual menu buttons, that would be nice.
Yes, that's quite tremendous. That's actually a very valid idea. Help out the newbies once more.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly, sir.
No problem.
Good evening, yoboifinni. What would you say is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Well, hello, VoiceoverGuy. My favorite thing about Cards and Tankards is that it's fun. It's a great place to make friends. It's obviously fun to endure. You know, you get to have a lot of people to play with. It's really easy to make friends. So I could say it's a pretty good game to overall.
Absolutely tremendous, good sir. And what would you suggest maybe needs a little bit more improvement on Cards and Tankards?
Well, the only thing I think they need improvement is maybe change a few cards like Aisha. Like, it was good back then. They kind of nerfed it a little bit. It doesn't really make sense. You can't really make decks out of it. So I think they need to do something with that. But most of all, it's a really good game. Like, I don't really see anything changing at most. Maybe more maps to the game. I mean, just 2 maps is not good enough. I mean, I think there should be more maps. But out of all, I think that's basically it.
By 2 maps, are you talking about, for instance, the tavern we are standing in, or?
Yeah, of course. Including the Patreon, which you have to pay for. I mean, I don't know if I would pay money just for the map. I think they should just add other maps instead of just paying for one.
Yes, fair enough. But also, on the other hand, I figure it costs a lot of money to run one of these sort of games, so they've got to make something out of it, otherwise we don't get the game. But I do agree, we certainly could use at least another map. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you kindly, yoboifinni. yoboifinni. Very much appreciated, good sir.
No problem. I thank you for having me on here.
Sir Omnimorph, what is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
I like the strategy involved in the card games. It keeps you on your toes. It seems endless on how you can mix and match a lot of the decks to get them to work the way you want them to, despite how other people think there's only like 1 or 2 ways to go about certain things. Really, there's a plethora of ways to use many of the cards and their abilities.
Absolutely spectacular, good sir. And what would you suggest might need a little bit of improvement?
I wish there were team-up battles, like 2-on-2, but you couldn't sync your decks. It has to be like you pick an opponent and you get assigned a teammate. That way it would make it more difficult for you to have a monopoly, so to speak, on your strategy.
I
Again, it
suppose
keeps you on your toes.
to use a bit of a dad pun, I suppose it would stop people from stacking the decks.
Yes, exactly.
Tremendous. Thank you kindly. Good evening, Sir Skygie. What would you say is your
Hi.
favorite thing? Ooh, stick drift. How horrifying. What would you say is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Honestly, do you want my like sappy like answer for TV, or do you want my honest answer?
Both.
For my sappy TV answer, probably just kind of chilling with my friends and discovering new ways to play. And
Fantastic.
for my actual answer, Rush. I love Rush.
Rush. Rush decks. Yes, they're quite evil, those, and very effective indeed.
I used to have my always the Rush guy. And I had like 17 versions of the same Rush deck.
Very
I
good.
have like 3 right now, I believe.
I see. And what would you suggest maybe needs a little bit of improvement about Cards and
Plundering
Tankards?
Guild.
Plundering Guild.
Plundering Guild.
What do you think needs improving there?
Banes. I feel like they haven't gotten many updates since... I don't know. I can't really think of many good updates they've had recently.
You're right. It seems to be the only part that can't be removed so far. Once they're in, they're stuck.
Yeah. I think Banes needs some like new spell or new creature.
Yeah, some sort of bane removal, maybe. But then, yes, I suppose that would be very difficult to balance, but I was thinking the same thing myself. An excellent answer, sir. Thank you kindly.
That, and I think you need to add like some more creatures or spells for Banes. To add them in.
That's a
Or
very
any type
valid
of
point.
Bane, like... Or like a 2 damage Bane, because there's a 1 and a 3, so a 2 would be nice.
I believe there's a few 5s in there as well, so yes, you're quite right, good sir. Bravo, bravo. Thank you kindly.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good evening, young Miss Sam. What would you suggest is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
I just really like the community here. I like all the fun, all the tournaments, all the monthly tournaments. I really like the staff here. They're all nice. They're all funny. It just gives a lot of enjoyment in this game.
Yes, I find that the community is a very popular choice here. I also find them wonderful indeed. What would you suggest is the one thing about Cards and Tankards that you might think could use a little improvement?
Some of the cards here are very, very, like, let's say, rigged. But to be honest, this whole game is actually perfect in most stuff.
Yes, I do find that after each update, there are a few cards that are a little bit OP, as they call them, the young folk. But I tend to find that they're very quick about rebalancing them around here, which I find tends to irritate a lot of people who've had unfair advantages.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not gonna lie, this game is fun. It's very addicting.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, young Miss Sam. Very much appreciated.
Thank you, VoiceoverGuy.
Sir Deadpool, what is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
I like all the creativity it has in it, and it reminds me of the show off of Adventure Time, Card Wars, and as a kid I always wanted to play that, but I think they took the game off or whatever, and this is a good what's the word for it?
Substitute, maybe?
Replacement. Yeah, replacement or substitute. Yes, it's really good.
Tremendous, good sir. And what would you suggest maybe needs a little bit of improvement about Cards and Tankards?
I would say if you're new, some new players may have trouble finding the first 3 cards to start out. I would say having like a big sign so they can see and know exactly what to do.
Oh, yes, you're talking about when you're in the private room and there's those 3 buttons lined up, and after you press it, you get to play a few games and you get a whole lot more cards. Yes, I had the same problem when I started. I was completely oblivious.
I was too. I didn't know what was left from right.
I think that's a tremendous suggestion. Thank you kindly, good sir. Very much appreciated.
Thank you for having me.
Good evening, Mikameblank. What would you suggest is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Well, my favorite thing about Cards and Tankards is being able to play actual human players in real time with a card strategy game. You get a chance to see all kinds of different builds and all kinds of different ways that people play. It's very exciting.
Tremendous, good sir. And what would you suggest needs the most improvement?
Well, I've been gone from the game for a while, but when I came back, I realized there have been some major changes. One of my favorite cards would be the Copy Mage, and I understand that, yes, it was a little bit overpowered by being able to make copies of itself, so they changed it to where it can't make copies of itself anymore. But really what they should have done along with doing that change is when you coin it, you should be able to actually pick what you want to copy, since it's not going to be a copy mage. That's what I would change.
That's a tremendous idea. I appreciate that very much. Thank you kindly, Mikameblank.
You're welcome.
Sir Knife Master, what do you think is the best thing about Cards and Tankards?
Oh, I mean, it's a tough question, but honestly, I quite like the community around it.
Very nice, very nice.
And I believe the staff as well, all volunteers. There are a lot of cards as well. They do one hell of a job.
Yes, we are a very big fan of our moderators. They keep this space very free of toxic people, and I very much appreciate that myself. What would you suggest needs the most improvement in Cards and Tankards?
I suppose it'd have to be. I mean, there's definitely some card balancing. Some places that need fixing, but I think there'll always be that.
Well, yes, I think that one's an ever-evolving journey, of course, but I think they generally stay pretty well on top of that in my experience. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, thank you kindly,
For
good
sure.
sir.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
Much appreciated. Sir Devon, what is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
So my favorite thing about Cards and Tankards is probably the community, because how nice people can just like come up to you and ask for like just to play a match real quick, and then you can be on your way. You can make new friends. It's really fun.
A very popular answer indeed. It seems everyone really loves the community of Cards and Tankards, which is something I also very much appreciate as well. But what would you suggest maybe needs a tiny bit of improvement about Cards and Tankards?
One thing I think that Dungeon Master is a little bit too powerful as of right now, so I think they have to like nerf it a little bit. Like they keep on giving it too many cards for it.
I see. Yes, I hear a lot of complaints about that, yet I tend to find that the Augur Order seems to be more overpowered.
That's true. Some cases and some different cards.
I suppose it depends on how you can use them, though. I'm terrible at Augur Order, but shh, don't tell the audience.
That's I'll keep your secret with me.
Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated. Good evening, Absentus Omnis. Yes, tremendous, of course. What would you suggest is the best thing about Cards and Tankards? I see. And what would you suggest about Cards and Tankards that potentially needs a bit more improvement? Yes, of course. Well, thank you very much for the kind conversation, good sir. Indeed. Ah, Sir Bussinbre, a pleasure to make your acquaintance once more. I was wondering, good sir, what is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Honestly, my favorite thing about Cards and Tankards is the entire concept of it. Cards battling out on a turn base. Best thing about the whole game.
Absolutely fantastic, good sir. And what would you suggest might need some room for improvement?
I would say being able to use infinite slimes would be my biggest concern, just because I've run into a lot of problems with slimes. But that's me personally.
Yes, I was quite surprised that they changed out the copy mage, and yet the slimes are still able to continuously pull themselves out of nowhere like nothing on earth. I sort of found them to be a bit the same as the copy mage myself.
Exactly, that's exactly how I felt. They fixed one problem, kept the other problem.
Indeed. Thank you kindly, bussinbre.
No problem. Pleasure to be here.
Sir Ellionidas, what would you suggest is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
It's one of the few VR games in which I can play quietly, because I have a really bad habit of yelling while playing VR games, and it really annoys my family. So this is one of the few games where I don't end up yelling.
That is fair. I do enjoy the fact that there is a very chill environment within Cards and Tankards, and the moderators keep it nice and safe for everyone. But what would you suggest, Sir Ellionidas, is one thing that could be improved about the game?
I'm very difficulty thinking of anything. I genuinely can't really think of anything.
Very well. Thank you kindly, good sir. It seems that everything about the game is A-OK with Ellionidas. Very much appreciated.
Hello. Someone just threw a tankard of ale.
Yes, that happens a lot when I actually record. I enjoy it thoroughly. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Most welcome. Sir Francisco, what would you suggest is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Well, honestly, I would say it takes me back from my childhood days when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So it is very similar.
Yes,
and it's bringing it all in a sense that you can actually see it. It kind of brings a lot of memories.
Why, that's absolutely fantastic, sir. And what would you suggest about Cards and Tankards that may need a little improvement?
Well, more than improvement, I will say what's a suggestion? Now, imagine if you ever were or watch Yu-Gi-Oh! To have, instead of a table, or even this table, when you play the cards and they actually have, movements in a sense that are a little bit flashier. Otherwise, everything is really great. Even though, they do have their movements, attack and defense, it's not as flashy.
So you like
an attack.
You like a great big visual spectacle, is what you're saying.
Yes, like when you had the black magician, he got someone in there, and then he starts his attack, he started reloading from that sense, and you will see kind of like, a little bit more of a spectacle. Granted, it may be not good for everybody, I suppose, on the speed of the game, which is perfect, but also that would be my only 2 cents.
Oh, no, I love the idea. I'm a big fan of big visual myself. Explosions, more explosions, everyone, more explosions. Thank you kindly, Francisco.
Agreed. That will be really great. Also, for field changing, to have the ability to change the field and for that to impact the cards that you're playing. For instance, if you put a Prairier and you have soldiers or mercenary style soldiers, they will get boosts. Or cemetery, darkness, etc. So to have also the ability to have a field card. So I don't know, maybe a slot over here or over there where you play it. Field card.
A field card.
To
A
add more
tremendous
dimensions.
suggestion. Fantastic, good sir. Thank you kindly. Very much appreciated.
My pleasure, VoiceoverGuy.
Good evening, Sir GucciGrapes. May I ask you, good sir, what is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
My favorite thing, personally, is how you can match the cards together and you can like really just make a deck how like you really want to, and like all the cards work together. And once you have it fully set up, it's kind of unbeatable.
Absolutely tremendous, good sir. And what would you suggest could be slightly improved about Cards and Tankards?
I feel like one thing that could be improved are the elementals and the dungeon master like faction. I feel like some of them are kind of broken.
Do you find they're a little bit OP, so to speak?
Yes, indeed.
Tremendous. Thank you kindly, good sir. Very much appreciated.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good evening, istabcarp. What would you say is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
My favorite thing about Cards and Tankards is all the abilities, like different card types and everything.
Oh, tremendous. You like a bit of variety, and you find that it covers that nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you suggest that maybe needs the most improvement in-game?
I would say money is the biggest problem. I think there should be more ways for free-to-play players to get more money and gems.
Oh, I see. Have you got used to the quests yet? Have you played many quests?
Yeah, I still do quests and everything. It just takes a while. Like, even with the quest, they're just not very worth it.
I see. I do have a bit of a sneaky tactic for that. What I generally do, I get my cards up and I set all of my card decks for quests, and then I simply punch out the quest quickly and boom, I forfeit straight away, and I find that tends to load up the coins very quickly. It's a little bit sneaky, and it does, of course, affect your score ratio of win to losses, but I find that works very well if you really want to just scrape up coins quickly.
Yeah, my opinion, I like my win ratio, so I'll think about it.
No, that's fair. I understand completely. If you are a fan of your win-to-loss ratio and you want to keep it better, then obviously it would be a lot harder to get coins up, so I absolutely understand where you're coming from, sir, and thank you for this wise bit of advice of yours.
Yep, you're welcome.
Tremendous. Good evening, Jesus Y117. What is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
I guess I like the global aspect. Like, you get globally ranked and it's pretty active, so that's pretty cool. I mean, I haven't made it on the board, but that's probably my favorite thing. In terms of improvement, I'm not sure. Maybe it glitches a lot, but it's also because I'm pretty out in the cuts, so my service isn't the best. So I'm pretty sure it's more my service than the game. But that's the only thing, is that I get a little glitchy a lot.
Oh, I see. Is there anything in particular you find glitches about the game?
No, it's just like slow movement. Like, I'm trying to do something and then it takes a lot longer than I'd like to react. Again, I think it's more my actual service than like the game itself.
Yes, that is quite fair. I'm experiencing some extreme lag today, but yes, I'm not sure what's going on. Everything's a little bit shaky.
Yeah, that's the right word, I guess, lag. I get a lot more lag. Like right now, that's also why I play at nighttime. I seem to have better service in the middle of the night versus during the day. I have a lot more lag.
Ah, yes, the outside of peak hours. I'm still trying to figure out if all my lag is coming from the multitude of ales I drank this morning.
Nice.
Tremendous. Thank you, good sir. Good evening, Royalty Batman. How are you, good sir?
Doing good, thank you so much.
I was wondering, good sir, what is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Well, this game fascinated me from the start. When I got my VR, I thought this would be interesting. I never played something like this on a console or on Steam. Earlier on, it was years ago. So I thought maybe this could be fun, and it was. Got to meet a lot of new people, got to play a lot of different games. It's very creative, and that's something I like. And you keep experimenting, you keep winning, you keep losing, you keep making friends. It's good fun. That's what I really liked about it.
Tremendous indeed, good sir. And what would you suggest about Cards and Tankards that maybe could use a little bit of improvement?
Well, these guys have been bringing up updates every few months, so I think they're doing a good job there. A few more things can be improved, which is maybe some more props, something else to do apart from cards. Maybe they could get in some, maybe trading cards when you can keep it. Maybe an option to trade with the player-to-player trades. That would be pretty interesting. So I think they could come up. I mean, there's a lot of things they can do. These are a few of the ideas I had.
Those are tremendous ideas indeed. Thank you kindly, sir.
Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening, Sir Justin. What would you suggest is your favourite part of Cards and Tankards?
I'd say the how every deck doesn't have a counter. Like you could play this deck and it counters this one, but like there's no one deck that just beats everything that can't be beaten by anything else.
Yes, quite tremendous indeed. And also, what would you suggest needs improvements on your Cards and Tankards experience?
Fraud!
Probably they should make Sneaky Saboteur a contract.
The what? Sorry, I'm a bit confused.
The card Sneaky Saboteur.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a contract. It's broken as it is right now because people can play spell. It's an auger card, and people will play things like Hero and Wounded Guardian that it will just keep it alive forever, and that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to have like a 6-turn timer going down health every turn.
I see. That's actually quite some valid advice, good sir. And so what is it currently if it's not a contract?
It's right now it's a creature. It's a creature that's health goes down by 1 every turn.
Ah, I see. That is some tremendous
But
advice.
it's 4 mana, and like things like Kira are 8 mana, so they'll be able to play it before it dies, and they just keep it alive forever. And then at that point, you're just forced to run removal. And that shouldn't be like that.
Yes, I understand completely. That is great advice. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome, voiceover guy.
Good evening, Mystic Disarray. What would you say is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
My favorite thing about Cards and Tankards would be the plundering and how they got rid of Jaeger Copy Mage.
Oh, goodness, I was quite disappointed. I thought the Jaeger Copy Mage was fantastic.
I hated it.
It appears a lot of people did. I sort of didn't really find it any different to, let's see, those, what are they called? The slimy decks that always build up and you can't defeat.
Decomposers?
Yes, those ones. I really didn't see them as too much different, but yeah, it seems like they were a very unpopular option, and it seems many people shared your joy in seeing the Jaeger Copy Mage get shut down. What would you suggest, though, sir, would need a bit more improvement about Cards and Tankards?
More faction options, because there's like 5 factions. You need more faction options. There's only Dungeon Master, Wild Horde, Plundering, Archer Order, and Neutral. You need more factions. There's not a lot of...
Yes, that's quite true.
Options.
I thought when they were bringing out the 50 new cards that maybe they would bring out a new faction.
There would be a new faction, yeah. Nope. They just added Crusaders.
Yes.
Crusaders...
I mean, they were kind of like their own faction, but they ended up in the neutral deck. You know what? I think a new faction would be quite exciting as well.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that tremendous advice. No, thank you for that tremendous suggestion, sir. That is amazing. Good evening, SoSUNREAL. What would you suggest is your most favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
I'd say the community, most definitely. It's fun hanging out with all different kinds of people on here, especially with my time frame on my work schedule. I get to meet different people from different areas, like England and all that.
Tremendous. I have found that the community is one of the most popular answers we've got so far. It seems to be very well put together indeed. Now, what would you suggest is one thing that could use a little bit of improvement about Cards and Tankards?
Being a rank player, I would probably say some of the card balances.
Yes,
There are some cards that are just way too overpowered that need to be balanced a little more, I believe.
I tend to find when it comes to ranked matches that every time you use a certain deck of cards over and over, you'll tend to find that all the cards you need seem to come in reverse, and you can never get a good spread of cards, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how that works. I'm going to have to pull aside one of you developers one day and find out how you sorted that all out. Thank you so much, SoSUNREAL. Very much appreciated.
Anytime.
Good evening, Sir Venom. What would you suggest is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Probably the diversity between every single class and card.
Tremendous, good sir. Tremendous. Yes, the diversity is quite good. I do enjoy it thoroughly. But what would you suggest is maybe something that needs a little more improvement?
Something that needs a little more improvement? I would say, while some things, yes, are good, I would say that before anything else, they need to balance everything out.
Oh, I see. What do you suggest would require the most balance?
Probably Augur Order.
Oh, good. Someone else finally agrees with me. Yes, get rid of Augur... well, I suppose. Balance out Augur Order. Yes, that one. No, I agree totally.
Yeah, Augur Order is a mix between overpowered and crappy.
I sort of think what they call that defensive acumen thing. I find that maybe 3 characters is a little bit too simple. I mean, if it was maybe 4 characters even, because by the time they've got a couple of tiny bits on the board, there's just no defeating defensive acumen.
You're not wrong, but I know a strategy that from Augur Order that still needs a lot of balancing.
Ah, I see. Would you like to share it with the world?
Yes, I would. And while I don't know all the cards, it's a grand tutoring combination.
I see. That makes sense. There is a lot about the grand tutoring that does seem a little bit OP. Thank you very much, Sir Venom. I totally agree with your opinions.
Thank you.
Good evening, young Miss Fuji Juice. And what would you suggest is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Well, in my personal opinion, I believe that the community is one of the best things about this game, as everyone is friendly with each other. However, I feel like it could be better if people didn't throw things at me. I'm sorry, I forgot what I was going to say.
You'll find that's very, very common in my videos. It's quite entertaining, I find. So, yes, I've found that a lot of people are very happy with the community. Indeed, it's also one of my personal favourites. But what would you suggest could use a little bit of improvement in Cards and Tankards?
Well, as I said, the community is the best part, but I also believe that the community is the thing that needs more work too. Because I think that other people there's a lot more people misbehaving, and I feel like it's imperative for this game to have a good community.
100%. I find the moderators do a wonderful job of keeping the rabble-rousers out, but unfortunately, the nature of the internet means sometimes you will get complete trolls in this place.
It's you. Yeah, I fully agree with that.
I thank you kindly, young Miss Fuji Juice. Very much appreciated. Good evening, Big Hank Full Tank. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Tremendous, good sir. What would you say is your favourite thing about Cards and Tankards?
It would have to be specifically the card itself, Leyland Aligner. I love that card.
The the what?
The Leyland Aligner.
I'm not sure which card that is.
Oh, it's a Wild Horde card. It's an elemental, you know.
Oh, can we pull that one out and have a look? Yes.
Yeah, let's take a look. So it's... Oops. Right here, the Leyland Aligner.
Oh,
when
my.
mobilized, it adds a copy of all friendly elementals except Leyland Aligner into your reserves.
Oh,
so
goodness,
the goal
that
of
is
it,
powerful.
you fill the whole board up with elementals, you mobilize that guy, and it'll put a copy of them all into the reserves.
Absolutely tremendous, good sir. And what would you suggest is the one thing that could use a little more improvement about Cards and Tankards?
Honestly, it's already good as it is, but thing that could improve it is maybe reamping up draft, maybe like add a draft ranked mode or something. Or you could even add like how draft mode has standard and then it has one with all animateds, like maybe add another additional price to cost more for all diamonds. I think that'd make people want to play it a little more.
Oh, tremendous advice indeed. Thank you kindly, good sir.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
Good evening. Why, hello, bros. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing okay.
Tremendous, good sir. What would you suggest is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
My favorite thing about Cards and Tankards is how people are so smart in making decks and creating things that are really, really good for the meta and making a healthy environment for people. Moderation being there prevalent and making the tavern safe. Yeah, and for the most part.
Tremendous, good sir. And what would you say, if anything, needs to be improved about the Cards and Tankards universe?
Well, card balancing does seem like it does need a little bit of an improvement on some cards being better than others, some cards completely dying, and some cards where rarities are completely irrelevant. Oralis Healer being an epic card, but is a 1/1 that heals 1 health. Definitely don't need that in the game. Definitely not.
Definitely not. Yes. Thank you kindly, good sir. Very much appreciated.
Yep. It's glad to be here. Thank you for having me on your little questionnaire.
Tremendous. Good evening, Sir SpiderGod. How are you, good sir?
I'm great. How about you?
Tremendous indeed. I was wondering, good sir, what your favorite thing is about Cards and Tankards?
I'm going to have to say it's probably the community, because no matter where you go or what tavern you go to or game mode, there's always somebody willing to help you if you're new. So you just got to ask.
That was a leg. What would you suggest would be goodness gracious, the one thing that would need improving in the Cards and Tankards universe?
Probably player retention, because after players have played for 6 months to a year and have acquired most of the cards, they grow kind of tired of the game, and a lot of them are afraid to play rank. So something to keep players interested, other things to do, things that would help them to grind out their character. Like, for example, if your character was giving a perfect setup to where you could gain perk points or something like that and had a game mode that you could go play, those points are applied. Something that would keep players coming back to get stronger.
That is amazing, good. Thank you kindly for your time, good sir.
Q is glad to be here.
Tremendous. Good evening, Count Scapula. And what would you suggest is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards? Yes, I see. And what would you suggest needs the most improvement? Yes, great chat. Thank you very much.
VoiceoverGuy.
Good evening,
How are you doing
sir.
today?
Quite well, yourself?
What is your favorite thing about Cards and Tankards?
Well, I must say for me, it's a bit of a cross between the gameplay and the community. I find that the community here is very lovely, and they always seem rather welcoming of everyone, and yes, I find they're very generous indeed. I also find that the gameplay is excellent, there's a lot to learn, and even when there's a new update, there's always a new way to stack your cards in different ways, which I always find fascinating.
Yeah, definitely fascinating. And what do you think needs most improvement?
Right, well, I was thinking about this today, you see, and it turns out that, when you go to your social thing here, and you click on friends, for instance, and let's see, who is a friend that I've got on here? Let's say Royalty J-Mac. It says he's in the South Fall lair, but it doesn't give me an option to join him in the lair. I think it would be a very big benefit to everyone indeed if you could simply click on a friend and then join them in that tavern. And that way, you get to enjoy your space and enjoy your time with all these lovely people.
Yeah, and that'll definitely make Cards and Tankards a better place to play.
100%. Thank you kindly, good sir.
None? Yep. Glad to be here. Thank you for answering them questions.
Tremendous. Sir Abbas, what do you think is the best thing about Cards and Tankards in your opinion?
My opinion, the spells. Like, I just like the spells. It's like I am like a wizard, just putting spells and like that. That's the most thing I like with this game. Like, this game very cool with spells, with creatures. Like, remind me with that film, like what's called Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes,
That
that's
reminds me
been
of
quite a popular answer today. Fantastic indeed. Tell me, what do you think could use a little bit of improvement about Cards and Tankards?
Improvements. Like, to be real, like improvements with the place. Just change the place, make a new place. Like, do you see that door over there?
Yes,
See
yes,
that
indeed.
door?
Yes.
I wish like you can open the door and just open it. You can go like a ladder, just go down. Just go down. You can just see wizards and like that, like pictures, old pictures and like that. That will be so good.
Oh, like a separate
Like
room,
make
a
it
gallery for art.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like a
Everybody over
tremendous
there.
idea.
Yeah, that's very good. If you added them, very good.
Why, thank you kindly, sir. A brilliant suggestion indeed. I can't wait to get this up online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
boss guy.
Yes, that is recording, good sir. What was it that you wanted to say?
I want just to say I am from Kuwait, from the Middle East, and where I am from, I cannot speak English. Nobody speaks here English, and nobody. All because of this game, all because of Cards and Tankers, because of people, all people I know. Thank you. I can now speak English very clearly, and I thank every single one of them. And I thank Cards and Tankers for letting me speak English and understand and make new friends, like every day making new friends and every day. Thank you, Cards and Tankers. I really want to see this game get a lot of people in it. And
Can
yeah,
somebody draft
thank you,
tag
Cards
me?
and Tankers.
Tremendous. I certainly hope in time more people will absolutely join us from Kuwait as well. I find the wonderful thing about Cards and Tankards is that it is open to all. It doesn't matter where you are from,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who you are, just as long as you are friendly and you keep things PG-13. Thank you so much, Sir Abbas.
You're welcome.
Tremendous. VoiceoverGuy VR. Maeve, this is just getting awkward.